Okay, now we're going to go over Meaty option selects. This is a very similar setup as it requires your opponent to be knocked down beside you. Now the definition of Meaty is when you hit someone during the active frames of your attack. So in this case with Abel, when I'm doing a crouching light punch, I'm not hitting them at the beginning of the light punch, I'm hitting it as it's already out and it's coming back. So if I trip Judy and I hit her as she's getting up with the crouching light punch, what will happen is the arm is stretched out and it's active and the attack is coming out, and what happens is there's no space. So to the point of when she gets up, there's no space, no gap. So if she holds up, for example, and tries to jump, she can't, she'll get hit. So once again, this is about limitation. It's about limiting the opponent's options. So we can do option selecting. So in this case, Meaty option select after a knockdown. So after knocking your opponent down and doing a meaty attack, his only responses are either to block, to get hit, or to do a type of reversal, which is what we want. So the first Meaty option select example we're going to use is Abel versus Judy. So I'm going to knock her down, and then while she's getting up, I'm going to do a Meaty crouching light punch, and then I'm going to press crouching light punch and hard kick simultaneously. So in this rhythm. So the trick to this is that crouching hard kick has priority over light punch. So when I press them both simultaneously, the hard kick will always come out. But if it's a chain, the chain overrides this and it won't come out. So for example, so as you can see, even though I hit hard kick and light punch on the second hit at the same time, the light punch came out. This is because the chain overrides this, overrides the priority. So that means when Judy is getting up, if she does something where my Meaty crouching light punch does not make contact with her, that means the crouching hard kick will come out because there's no longer a chain. So this is if the opponent does no response at all. It ends up being a two light punch, crouching light punch chain into my bread and butter combo of choice. So if Judy attempts to do a backdash on wake up, this is very common in high-end play. The sweep will come out because the crouching light punch will now whiff. This is what's going to happen if Judy tries to jump out when she gets up. And this is if she blocks. Safe block string. So as simple as this option select is, it's extremely effective. And it's very easy to do. So this is great too because taking out the opponent's backdash, that's one of their fail-safe responses. And basically this forces them to either block, putting them on the defensive, or attempt to do a risky reversal, which you can bait. The point is that the opponent is guessing and you're not guessing at all. Now this example I'm going to use Balrog. Same thing, I'm going to go crouching light punch Meaty into crouching hard kick and light punch simultaneously right after. Now sometimes even if they do a reversal, it's still not safe for the opponent. In this case with Balrog, I'm going to hold down back while doing this. I'm going to be blocking while I'm doing this option select. The reversal, the EX Messiah reversal, is still not fast enough to hit me when I do a crushing light punch. I'll be able to block in time. So as you can see, I did the option select and I'm still able to block it. And as you can see, if Rufus attempts to backdash, same thing. Sweep comes out, option select. Okay, so for this example, I'm going to use Chun-Li. Now my option select of choice this time is going to be Ultra. So the input for this will be a Meaty light punch, but we're going to go core circle forward, light punch first. This will be the Meaty. And then we're going to go core circle forward, 3 punches at the same time. So what will happen is the light punch connects, it will turn into a chain to another light punch. And if the opponent is not in contact with Chun-Li, the Ultra will come out. So in this case, if Cammy attempts to do a backdash, the Ultra will hit her. So as you can see, if Cammy was blocking when she got up, there was no risk at all for me doing it. Now, immediate option select method is useful for charge characters since jump in option selects aren't as effective since you cannot do most charge moves after a jump in. So immediate option select is a good alternative. Okay, so let's summarize the formula for immediate option selects. First step, after knocking your opponent down, you want to begin with immediate attack as they're coming up. Step 2 is to input a special move or normal attack of your choice. That is the option select part. Now you want to input this quite fast after your meaty. And the third step is to input another quick attack that would make your initial attack a block string or a safe combo. Preferably another light attack so it becomes like so you can do a chain, for example. Okay, now let's discuss the timing on the immediate option select method. Now, the first step is to make sure that you time your meaty attack correctly. Now, there's a really easy way to do that. So we go into training options, and we set the dummy to all jump. So right here. So we'll know if we're timing this correctly. So in my case, I'm going to do a meaty crouching light punch. We'll know if we're timing this correctly that after I sweep her or knock her down, she will not jump out of the attack. See, I hit it too early there, and she jumped out. So that's how you can practice your timing with your meaty attack. Now the next step is timing your option select between your two attacks. Now this is very character specific and will vary, so you'll have to experiment it yourself and recreate the situation when practicing it. Because of this, it's going to vary, so there's nothing in stone for the timing. You'll have to experiment it yourself. Okay, we're going to discuss the final baseline option select called buffering option select. This is a very simple option select and very easy to do, and it makes your pokes and your footsie game much more dangerous. Basically, you're sticking out a high priority normal that could be cancelled outside the range of your opponent, so that if he sticks out an attack that comes into the range of yours, you can punish him much harder. Okay, now I'm going to show you an example on buffering option select method. So in this case, we're going to use Zangief against Fei Long. Now with Zangief, the input's going to be a crouching light punch, and then during the active frames of the crouching light punch, we're going to buffer an EX green hand. Now as you can see, the active frames are long enough that the EX green hand does not come out during the animation of the crouching light punch. However, the crouching light punch is also special move cancelable, thus the green hand will come out if it comes in contact with the opponent. Now we don't want the opponent to block the crouching light punch either because the EX green hand is unsafe. So what we want to do is we want to do it outside their range so that if they stick out a poke and the crouching light punch connects, then we will also combo the EX green hand. So with all other option selects, it depends on what the opponent responds with. So in this case, the opponent is responding with a poke that comes into my range. Now with Ryu, I'm going to show an example that you don't just have to do a special move, you can also do a super move as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a crouching hard punch, and I'm going to buffer the super motion. So during the active frames of the crouching hard punch, I'm going to input a super, and as you can see, it won't come out. But since the crouching hard punch can cancel into the super, if it comes in contact with any of Dhalsim's limbs, the super will connect. Okay, so let's summarize the formula for buffering option select method. The formula is very straightforward. Simply combine your special move of choice with a high priority normal attack that can be cancelled. Okay, so let's discuss the timing. So step 1 is, as long as you're buffering your option select during the active frames of your normal attack that can be cancelled. So to practice this, simply just go into training options and set your dummy to record. And just press a few buttons, preferably attacks that are long range. And then set the playback. So in my case, I'm going to do crouching light punch into option select into EX green hand. So what I'm going to do to practice the timing is first I'm going to start by not being around Rufus at all. I'm just going to go crouching light punch and then input my option select, which is the EX green hand. And if it doesn't come out, that means I'm timing it right. So I'm timing it so that I'm doing it when his hand is still out. And then to test if it's working, you simply just go into range of Rufus's attacks and you input it, and if it comes out, it works. I suggest using a high priority normal to make sure that you're beating whatever attacks your opponent is sticking out. Okay, so now that you're educated with the formulas and the input timings of these option selects, you can create your own. And now that you know what they are, when you watch high-end matches, you're going to notice option selects being used very often. And if you use it on your friends that have no idea what it is, they're going to think that you're just completely psychic. This concludes Chapter 10, and thanks for watching, guys.